Net present value versus internal rate of return. These are two among many ways we can evaluate an investment opportunity. An opportunity to invest our money today that promises to pay us back certain amounts of money in the future. Let's see how much they have in common and what the differences are. The typical return on investments like this one, in this problem, is 10% per year. Is the following investment opportunity worth it? You invest $1,500 today, and you will receive $400 in 1 year, another $700 in 2 years, another $300 in 3 years, $500 in 4 years, and $200 in 5 years. Right? Okay, let's calculate, let's figure out if it's worth it. Would you pay $1,500 to get those 5 future dollar amounts back or not? We will look at the net present value technique, which we call NPV, and then we are also gonna look side by side at the internal rate of return technique, which we typically call the IRR valuation method. What they have in common is the keys we used in the financial calculator. In the financial calculator, we use what we call the cash flow keys. The first button we press is CF, cash flow. You're going to be entering cash flow for year 0, then cash flow 01, first one in the future, cash flow 02, cash flow 03, cash flow 04, and cash flow 05. In both cases, you will be entering the same exact numbers. Cash flow in year 0 is what you invest, negative $1,500, cash outflow. Then you get back $400 in year 1, that's cash flow 01 in the financial calculator, then $700, then $300, then $500, then $200. And it's going to be exactly the same thing when you use the IRR approach. You will enter exactly the same cash flows for year 0 and years 1 through 5. What's going to be different is what you put at the end after entering all these numbers. In the NPV case, you will then press NPV, the NPV button, which is right here, second row in the middle of your calculator. It's gonna ask you for the discount rate, and you're gonna put the number that is given, 10%. What's a typical annual return for investments like this one, maybe by other companies, and then you will press compute. In the IRR case, you will instead press the IRR button, which is in the middle, in the second row, second from the right, and then compute. So you don't enter the discount rate. You don't need it to do the calculations of the IRR. We will need the 10% that's given to make our investment decision, worth it or not worth it, right? So this is what we enter if you want to use the NPV approach, and this is what we instead enter when we are interested in the internal rate of return. Okay, let's turn the calculator on and first calculate the net present value, the NPV. Cash flow button, cash flow 0 is $1,500. To change it to negative, we press the plus/minus button and then press enter. Down arrow key. Cash flow 01 is $400. I press enter, down. It's only once in a row, so I leave the frequency of it at 1, the default value, and I press the down arrow for the second time. Then I enter the rest of my cash flows. 700, enter, down, down. 300, enter, down, down. Then 500, enter, down, down, and the last one, 200, enter, down, down. Then NPV, the interest rate is given, it's 10%. I press 10, enter, down, and compute. $133.23. So NPV equals $133.23. And because the number is positive, it tells us that the amount of money you invest today, $1,500, is less than all the amounts of money you get back in the future 5 years by $133.23. So you get $133.23 more in the future than how much you would be investing now, which means the investment is worth it. Now, the internal rate of return technique. Let's clear everything and start out fresh. Same exact buttons in the beginning. Cash flow. In year 0 we have 1,500 negative, enter, down. Cash flow 1 is 400, enter, down, down. Then cash flow year 2 is $700. I press 700, enter, down, down. Then we have 300, enter, down, down. Then we have 500, enter, down, down. And finally 200, enter, down, down. There is no more cash flow 6. And what we do now, instead of pressing the NPV button, entering the discount rate, we instead press the IRR button and then compute 13.75%. Okay, so the internal rate of return equals 13.75%. See, the answer is not in dollars anymore. It doesn't tell us how much cash we get back. Instead, it tells us what? It tells us that if we invest $1,500 now and get these $5 amounts back in the next 5 years, that's equivalent to investing $1,500 now and receiving a 13.75% on our money every single year. Okay, how does it help us figure out if the investment is worth it? Well, typically investments like this give back a 10% return per money. This is the required return. The required return is 10%. The actual return which we would be getting back as implied by these given cash flows is higher than that. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Of course it's a good thing. And so because 10% required return is less than the actual return we're going to get back on our money, it means that the investment is worth it. So you see how the two approaches have a lot in common in terms of how we do the calculations. And whenever the NPV is a positive number above $0, we are going to get the internal rate of return above the return that's required, which is typically given. That's the connection between the two approaches.